Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. A while back, I saw a tutorial about Cinema 4D. It's about controlling the displacement on a geometry by another geometry. The moment I see the tutorial, I wish we can do the same in Blender. Then I remember that tutorial made by CG Geek. It's about a dissolving character. He used a technique that I think it may be work here. I mean making the same dots in Cinema 4D. Which called, by the way, in Cinema 4D, Displace Deformer. This technique based on a modifier called Vertex Weight Proximity. We use this modifier with a Displace modifier and we achieve the effect. Let's apply a subdivision surface on this cube by going to Modifier and Subdivision Surface. Let's increase the level to 2 and apply it. Then another subdivision surface. Then increase the level to 3. Or 4, maybe 3. Then make it smooth. Then go to modifier and apply a displace modifier. Go into texture and apply a Voronoi texture. Let's make sure this is displace and new and a Voronoi texture. And decrease the noise to 0.1. That's better. Come back to the modifiers tab, decrease the strength to 0.3, for example. We are going to use this vertex group. For that, we need to assign a vertex group, obviously. Tab into edit mode, then assign all the vertices to a vertex group. New vertex group and assign all the vertices. Deselect and select to make sure that all the vertices are selected, and tap back to object mode. Let's create the other geometry that affect the displace in this geometry. Shift A and mesh and sphere, UV sphere. Move it side and come back to this. Go to the modifiers tab and create this vertex weight proximity. It have a vertex group input, so let's input that vertex group. And the target, let's pick up this sphere, the other geometry. And we'll go into displacement modifier and assign the same vertex group, Let's select the sphere and move it until it's collapsed with this geometry here. JY, then nothing happened. Nothing happened because we need to put this vertex weight proximity above the displacement modifier. Click here, then return this sphere, select it and JY, then, and it's work, but not as we want. We want the effect to be proportionally. Select this cube and we go to the vertex weight proximity modifier, and instead object we select geometry. And now if we select this sphere and JY, look what's happened. It's proportionally and it's beautiful. But we want this to stay smooth until this come close to make the effect of displacement. For this we select this geometry, this cube, and in the proximity, in the vertex weight proximity, we flip these numbers. The lowest make it 1 and the highest make it 0. 1 and 0. And now if we tape GY to move it across the y-axis, look at what happened. That's very beautiful. Let's make this effect on a plane, for example. Let's move this aside, J, and move this to another layer, M, and move it to here, for example. Then Shift A and mesh, and Shift A, mesh, and plane. We make it 8 for the radius, and tap into edit mode, then W and subdivide. We give it a number of 10 subdivision. Then tap back to object mode. With this layer selected, we press Shift and select the other layers that contain that cube, and with this plane selected, Shift and select the cube and Control L and the modifiers. And smooth. Select now the first layer and select this plane and go to subdivision surface. Maybe we increase it to 4 or 5, and we get rid of this vertex group because they belong to the other geometry. Then select the plane and tab to edit mode and assign a vertex group, rename it to any name, tab back to object mode, then go back to the modifiers and assign this vertex group to the vertex weight proximity and to the displace modifier. And if we now press G, that's awesome. And by that we achieve the same effect that we see in Cinema 4D, the displace deformer. It's called the displace deformer. And that's all about this tutorial. Thank you for watching, and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.